All right, you got legal questions. We got the guys with the answers. It's the Sidebar with our friends from Rio Caraway. Gentlemen, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Morning.
All right, so first issue. There is a case where a jury down in Florida awarded like what $200 million to people who were injured in a crash involving a Tesla autopilot. And the thing that I thought was interesting about this is that this key piece of evidence that Tesla said, well, it's just gone. We can't find it. It's a file. A hacker found it. How do we ensure that a company like that, or any company, is actually turning over the evidence they're supposed to turn over?
So
without a hacker, how do you do that?
This is the problem, is the backstory on these Tesla autopilot lawsuits is that this has always been an issue, is the company has the autopilot software, the company collects all the data, and you've got to trust them when you do a legal request that they're turning over everything they have. It's proprietary. There's no way for really anyone else to look into it and verify. And now this happens. A hacker is able to go in, prove that they were wrong, prove that they actually do have this information, and this kind of now changes the legal landscape, because now every future lawsuit that's going on this says, we know you actually do have this because someone found it.
Somebody else. So in that case, could you get a subpoena and have a third party go in and search their records?
So that's what is historically happening. And so the problem is that because Tesla's system is proprietary, no one else has had the ability to go in and look. So you had to always send the request to the company, and the company goes, oh, in good faith, here it is.
Yeah.
So we hope. That's now been proven false. So now what I expect is going to happen is exactly as you suggest, is I expect the whole point is going to be, look, they were caught lying once. At this point in time, the data needs to go outside and needs to go to someone else who can verify this information.
Sounds like this hacker may have stumbled upon a new business where he searches their records.
Exactly.
Another issue involving another big company is Uber, and the issue in this case is there is a lawsuit with 17 people now at this point who are disabled. They need service dogs for various reasons, but they've been turned away by drivers.
Yeah, so it wasn't just the service dogs. It was blind people with service dogs, but it was also other people with disabilities, wheelchairs and things like that. And what was happening is that Uber drivers were canceling when they showed up and they saw that they were going to have to do these extra services, and then they were charging them for the cancellation fees. Or in the case of people that have service dogs, they were charging them cleaning fees if they didn't just cancel and drive away. Which under Title III of the Americans with Disabilities Act, you can't do that. If they're a common carrier, which they are, they're basically the new taxi service, you have to take care of these people with these disabilities, and you can't charge them more than you would charge anyone else.
It seems like an open and shut Americans with Disabilities Act case, but can Uber say, well, because they say they're not our employees, they're contractors, can they make that argument to circumvent it?
That's a very good question. They've been making that argument a lot, and I think that initially they were given a little bit of discretion, but I think it keeps closing in on them. I would honestly say no. I don't think so. Not in this case. This is clear law.
I guess we will see. When I read this next story, my jaw dropped. People who won sweepstakes from the Publishers Clearinghouse, which we all grew up seeing the commercials and everything, things like, $5,000 a week for the rest of your life. Well, Publishers Clearinghouse goes bankrupt. They sell to another company, but that company doesn't have to pay those previous winners. How does that work?
So I honestly was just as shocked as you on this one, and they don't. And so what happened was this Publishers Clearinghouse went into bankruptcy, and they didn't have any assets. It was something between $1 and $10 million, and they can't pay. I think there's between 10 and 20 of these people that get $5,000 for life, which is $260,000 a year.
Nothing to sneeze at.
They went through bankruptcy. They got rid of all of their debt, so they don't have to pay these people starting this year. And when they sold the company, they sold the rights to the name, but they didn't sell any of their debt. The company bought the rights to the name. They didn't buy any of the debt.
Wow.
Typically in this case, you would sue and you'd say, no, you promised me, but that company doesn't exist anymore. And so as far as I could tell, it doesn't look like there's anything that they can do about it.
There's nothing they can do about that.
Not so far as I can see so far.
That is. So we were talking before we came on the air. So if you ever win a big prize and they offer a cash payout versus take the cash payout, take the cash. Gentlemen, thank you so much. We appreciate your insights. Court.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. There it is.